Today we will read from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 12, called Devotional Service, text 6. So we will start first with the verse Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So please kindly repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Text 6 to 7. I will first read the Sanskrit and then translation. Yetu sarvani karmani mai sannyasa patparaha ananyena iva yogena mam dhyayante upasate tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagara bhavami nakshirat partha maya veshita chetasam.
Sorry, which?
It's 12, 6 to 7.
Okay, 12, 6 to 7.
Yes.
Thank you.
So translation. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Purport. It is explicitly stated here that the devotees are very fortunate to be delivered very soon from material existence by the Lord. In pure devotional service, one comes to the realization that God is great and that the individual soul is subordinate to Him. His duty is to render service to the Lord, and if he does not, then he will render service to Maya. As stated before, the Supreme Lord can be appreciated only by devotional service. Therefore, one should be fully devoted. One should fix his mind fully on Krishna in order to achieve Him. One should work only for Krishna. It does not matter in what kind of work one engages, but that work should be done only for Krishna. That is the standard of devotional service. The devotee does not desire any achievement other than pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His life's mission is to please Krishna, and he can sacrifice everything for Krishna's satisfaction, just as Arjuna did in the battle of Kurukshetra. The process is very simple. One can devote himself in his occupation and engage at the same time in chanting Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Such transcendental chanting attracts the devotee to the personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord herein promises that without delay He will deliver a pure devotee, thus engaged from the ocean of material existence. Those who are advanced in yoga practice can willfully transfer the soul to whatever planet they like by the yoga process, and others take the opportunity in various ways. But as far as the devotee is concerned, it is clearly stated here that the Lord Himself takes him. The devotee does not need to wait to become very experienced in order to transfer himself to the spiritual sky. In the Varaha Purana this verse appears. Nayami paramam sthanam archiradigatim vina garudaskandam aropya yatecham anivaritaha. The purport of this verse is that the devotee does not need to practice Ashtanga Yoga in order to transfer his soul to the spiritual planets. The responsibility is taken by the Supreme Lord Himself. He clearly states here that He Himself becomes the deliverer. A child is completely cared for by his parents, and thus his position is secure. Similarly, a devotee does not need to endeavor to transfer himself by yoga practice to other planets. Rather, the Supreme Lord, by His great mercy, comes at once, riding on His bird carrier Garuda, and at once delivers the devotee from material existence. Although a man who has fallen in the ocean may struggle very hard and may be very expert in swimming, he cannot save himself. But if someone comes and picks him up from the water, then he is easily rescued. Similarly, the Lord picks up the devotee from this material existence. One simply has to practice the easy process of Krishna consciousness and fully engage himself in devotional service. Any intelligent man should always prefer the process of devotional service to all other paths. In the Narayaniya, this is confirmed as follows. Yavai sadhana sampati purushartha chatushtaya taya vina tadapnoti naro narayana shrayaha. The purport of this verse is that one should not engage in the different processes of fruitive activity or cultivate knowledge by the mental speculative process. One who is devoted to the Supreme Personality can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculation, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. That is the specific benediction of devotional service. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
A devotee of the Lord can approach the supreme destination easily and happily, but this destination cannot be approached by any other process of religion. The conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is stated in the 18th chapter. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshaishyami ma shuchaha. One should give up all other processes of self-realization and simply execute devotional service in Krishna consciousness. That will enable one to reach the highest perfection of life. There is no need for one to consider the sinful actions of his past life, because the Supreme Lord fully takes charge of him. Therefore, one should not futilely try to deliver himself in spiritual realization. Let everyone take shelter of the Supreme Omnipotent Godhead Krishna. That is the highest perfection of life. So, translation again. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Magyanatimirandasya Gyananjanashalakaya Chakshurmiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shrivimadi Ashtate Deshatarine. So it was a very wonderful, encouraging verse. I wanted to first actually read the previous verse, which describes the impersonal path when one is striving by different means to cultivate the transcendental knowledge about what is Maya, what is not, what is spirit, what is not spirit, all these discriminations. It's very, very intense, very strenuous process. But then I was thinking, maybe. It's not so necessary for us to read it. For us to focus on devotional service is actually the most important, without any doubt. This previous verse very wonderfully describes that actually, besides the path of direct devotional service, which is now more elaborately even described here and more confirmed, there is no other hope in Kali Yuga. I can just read the previous translation of the previous verse. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in the discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So it was like very wonderfully explained in the purport of Srila Prabhupada that the path of impersonal liberation is first of all extremely difficult, extremely troublesome. For most of people in Kali Yuga cannot even do it. It's just too many distractions, and there are too many dangers. One main danger is that we may not achieve the goal. First of all, we may just fall on the way, or even, as Srila Prabhupada described in the purport, because the impersonal strive for impersonal liberation is very dry, and it's very hard. And most of the people, impersonal
liberation.
Yes. Yes, yes. I will describe later. There are 3 types of liberation. I can describe now from the beginning. Liberation, or mukti, means that our soul, at the time of passing from this body, will achieve the state beyond the bodily existence. That we don't have to be born again in another life form. There are 8,400,000 species of life, and we can actually take any one of them, depending on our karma, on our desires. But when the soul becomes perfect in some way, by a spiritual realization, we don't have to actually take upon ourselves another body, which is a great, great relief. Certainly, it's a great achievement, because in the path of this samsara, on this repeated birth and death, we never know what will be the next life. This life, we may be even as a king or a very, very, very rich person and having a very comfortable and very wonderful situation, and we feel so satisfied. It's very rare, but let us say it's like that, just theoretically. In Kali Yuga, I think it's impossible, even whatever we have. But okay, let's say you can have everything, but still you don't know, because karma is there, and we don't know. Next life, we can be even born as the pet dog, somehow or another. Like there was. Srila Prabhupada once made this explanation. There was some rich man who was very attached to his house and to his possessions, and then he died, and his children inherited the whole thing, and he was born as a rat in that house.
Rat.
Yes. So actually, yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? And then his children and grandchildren, they are trying to kill him. So yes, so it's embodied existence is very terrible. We are striving, we are doing our best, and if we are not connected, especially to Krishna, to devotional service, we are not doing really that which the human life is meant for. So we are sort of committing offense to the Lord. We are not utilizing this special human form of life. So there is a reaction, and we may be born in a lower species of life, and just go through the whole samsara and try our best again and again and again until we come again to human form, which is a great boon, and we can again try to take advantage. So but some souls who have struggled enough in this material existence for a long time come to the realization the material world is not my home. There must be something higher, something beyond this material existence. And by good fortune, they get in contact with some devotee of the Lord or some transcendentalist, and they start their path of liberation. And when they achieve perfection on that path, so they may achieve 3 types of liberation, or mukti in Sanskrit. So that first type of liberation, which is called this impersonal liberation, it's a liberation that our soul actually merges with Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. Now, the Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Krishna, he is Swayam Bhagavan, he is the Supreme Lord, the origin of all spiritual and material existence, situated in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual sky. He has these different expansions, Lord Balaram, the Narayan, Chaturvyuha, and all these expansions. And he has also his transcendental effulgence, which is called Brahman. And in Brahman, the transcendental effulgence of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, everything is situated, the spiritual and material existence. And that Brahman consists actually of the souls of different living beings, and but it's called like the lowest type of liberation, because it's not permanent liberation for most of the living entities. In that liberated state, one feels actually there is a liberation of eternity. There is a feeling of eternity. There is no fear of death. There is no fear of suffering. There is absolutely no material suffering. There is, but there is no, and there is knowledge. There is transcendental knowledge. But there is no ananda. There is no bliss, because each soul, each and every one of us, is in our eternal identity. We have our spiritual mind, spiritual senses. spiritual intelligence, and that needs to be engaged. Actually, we need to experience the bliss of our exchange with the Supreme Lord and with other living beings. And because this is not there in Brahman, so it will sooner or later, in most cases, push us down again to the material world to search for that. And we cannot go up. So sometimes there are some cases I heard that the Lord with his pure devotees sometimes comes to Brahman and gives the higher taste of devotional service to these souls, and they come up to Vaikuntha planets or further on, whatever. But it's rare. Most of the time, those souls they end up in the material world to again try to actually achieve this ananda, this happiness, anyway, it's a long story. Then the second type of liberation, which yogis achieve, if they achieve perfection, which is also nowadays, that this age we are living in, very difficult. Who can become such a yogi who completely meditates? You have to be. It's not a yoga which we speak about nowadays. Now yoga is a very popular term, anybody practices yoga. I do yoga at home or try, but it's like 5 minutes, and that's maybe good for health, a little bit for the health. We can achieve something, but when we speak about to achieve this liberation through yoga, that takes to go to Himalaya mountain, be there in complete seclusion, be perfected in pranayama, all these asanas, all these different Ashtanga yoga processes, and come to that state when we even withdraw the breathing, we prolong our life for many hundreds of years, and ultimately, if really we manage somehow or another, we can achieve that liberation. And also there is a danger, because when one becomes perfect on that path, one realizes the Supreme Lord as Paramatma, as the super soul in one's heart. One sees the Lord. But many yogis, before coming that, there is a first distraction. I don't know. There's a very powerful distraction, because you achieve a lot of mystic powers. You may achieve even the 8 mystic perfections, become lighter than the lightest, become heavier than the heaviest, control others' minds completely. All kinds of perfections are there. And they often just try to enjoy these perfections, and they don't proceed further for further spiritual realization, actually. So that's one thing. And even if they somehow or other don't go for these 8 mystic perfections, they don't kind of act upon them, and they go further for the spiritual realization, they often mistaken the super soul to be themselves. They are now becoming completely empowered, very transcendentalized, and they see the Lord and they think, this is me. And they kind of actually, it's a big mistake, because we are not the super soul. It's described in the Vedas that in the heart of each living being there is a soul and there is a super soul. They are like 2 birds. One is trying to enjoy in the material conditioned life, the material senses, the material world, and the super soul, the Lord, is watching that soul and trying to somehow or another guide that best friend to come out of this material world, to come out of that foolishness, life after life, playing different roles, man and woman, animal, bird, whatever. It's so like a theater play, actually, for the soul. It has nothing to do with our eternal spiritual condition. So the Lord is advising us. So there are two personalities in our heart. There is a soul and there is a super soul. But the yogi often kind of mistakes the super soul to be themselves, and they miss on to be engaged in the devotional service. So they may achieve some kind of liberation. But then the third liberation, which is the ultimate liberation, is for a devotee, for bhakta, who from the very beginning, actually, even the new person who comes in the association of devotees and become engaged in devotional service gets the higher taste of the spiritual connection with the Lord. And if one cultivates that higher taste, that special feeling of okay, now I'm doing the right thing, I'm properly connected, there's a certain feeling. I remember myself when I first time came to the temple, and I mean, it was unbelievable difference. I just felt finally I'm doing something right after like millions of lifetimes, or I don't know, I felt like that at least, like finally I did. There is like it was unbelievably wonderful feeling, and I think most of us experience that when we come to the temple, when we associate with devotees, we try to do something for the Lord. So there is a special feeling, special spiritual connection that we cultivated. It's called devotional service, Bhakti Yoga. And we actually from the very beginning are connected to the Supreme Lord in a personal relationship. And it will develop as a more and more realization in the heart. Ultimately it leads to that point that when the devotee becomes perfect, one realizes even who we are in all eternal existence. What is our swarup, it's called in Sanskrit. What is our spiritual identity in a relationship with Krishna? Some of us may be gopis, some gopas, whatever we may be. But we have our eternal spiritual identity, and that will be realized by the mercy of the Lord when He is happy with us. And as it's described in this wonderful purport by Srila Prabhupada, devotee also, this path is completely fearless, because we know that the Lord takes charge of us from the very beginning. There's just very beautiful, I'm a little bit deviating, but very beautiful story which kind of speaks about the position of a devotee. There was a man who came to the king and was extremely eager, heard about the king's treasury, and was extremely eager to see that treasury, and was begging the king, please, dear king, please help me to see your treasury. And the king became very compassionate and said, okay, please come with me. So he was leading down the stairs to the deep down under the castle. There was a safely protected treasury. He opened the door and he showed him so much gold and so much jewelries. The man was completely amazed, in great awe. Okay, then closed the door and they were about to go up, and that man realized that even the stairs to the treasury were made of gold. So this is actually a very wonderful comparison, which is compared to a process of devotional service, that we are heading to the treasury, let's say, of the Lord. We are heading to this ultimate treasure of our eternal engagement in the pure loving devotional service of the Lord. But even the path to that is made of gold. So we are situated from the very, very beginning in a pure, on the path of pure devotional service. We may not be pure devotees yet, but we are on that path. So it's just a matter of time if we proceed under the good guidance that the treasury we will completely reach. But already the stairs are our goal. So the connection is completely there from the very beginning. And we are very fortunate that the Lord takes charge of a devotee's ultimate destination. So this is the best investment we can do in our life. If we are intelligent, it is said that Srila Prabhupada uses this comparison that Bhakti Yoga, yoga of devotional service to the Supreme Lord, and there is a synonym to it, and it's a Buddhi Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is called also Buddhi Yoga, and Buddhi from Sanskrit means intelligence. It means that one has to be intelligent on that path. Whoever is connected to Krishna in devotional service means that one is very intelligent, because one is doing really the right thing. And one has to also understand what is the best for us. So we need all kinds of investment in our lives. We need to invest our energy in making money to just to pay for our rent, to eat something, to protect our family members or whatever. We need to earn some money. There is a certain endeavor in that. But actually, when we are not taking care of our own soul, we will never be happy. And it is said, what is the goal of life actually? To be happy, isn't it? How can we live without happiness? It's a very miserable life. Nowadays, depression, it's a very common word. I don't know the statistic present, but many people suffer with depression. Just by the way, it was interesting when I was now in Prague visiting my mother. So she very often watches TV. I normally never watch TV, but sometimes when I was there with her, so I just sat there and a little bit watched TV, I must admit. And there was an interesting program where one head psychiatrist was speaking there about the condition of life, modern life of people. So he spoke very much about depression. He said this is really such a big problem nowadays. Many people are depressed. And he said, according to his understanding, and I think it had something to it definitely, that people are missing the goal of their lives. They are just living to some or another from day to another to make ends meet, to some or another, pay everything, to make some sense gratification, go for some holidays, have some kind of life, comfortable life in some way. But this is not enough, because we in order to really be motivated for life, we need to have some higher goal, because that's what we speak about the first platform, just working just to make the basic needs satisfied and everything. It's animal life. The animals do exactly the same, but in human form of life we have the higher intelligence, higher emotions, higher needs. Actually, we need much higher striving. And he spoke there actually about this respect towards religion, even though it's not so officially kind of appreciated in a normal standard of society. But still, he said that meditation and religion really helps people to have that higher striving and protect them from depression. So just even for that reason. This is very low reason, but still to practice devotional service, to be connected to the Lord, you get so much wonderful higher motivation for life that is extremely important. And it is said that, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that even tiny advancement on that path can protect one from the greatest type of dangers. So this is really like the best investment one can do, devotional service of the Lord, from all points of view. So we have to be intelligent, and we have to understand that what is for our benefit, isn't it? There is one statement also from Srila Prabhupada, no fool will do things which will harm one. But nowadays we are so ignorant in our understanding in society. We are just living lives that are very harmful to us, and we are still choosing that. But now when we come to higher knowledge, we have to invest there when we really get the best benefit. That's why we may not be on very high advanced spiritual realization platform, but we may have this intelligence that at least we know what is the best investment of our human energy. But it does not mean also that we have to finish our jobs, we have to cut off everything and just move to the temple and be devotees. There are so many most wonderful examples, even of those who were directly associates of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, living together with him in Mayapur, in Jagannath Puri Dham. There were so many grihastas who had their occupations and many family members, children, and still they were pure devotees. So the external situation does not matter. It's a matter of one's inner attitude and striving. There was one very wonderful answer which my Guru Maharaj once gave to one person who was in such a kind of gathering in the temple Sunday program, asking desperate question. He raised his hand and asked. He said, I'm a family man and I have many children, and I have to work so hard to just maintain the family, and I have hard time to even come to the temple maybe once a month. If I manage, I'm happy, and how can I make any spiritual advancement in that condition? And he was almost crying. He was very desperate. But Guru Maharaj explained very wonderfully that actually Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are in charge of our spiritual advancement, not us, luckily. Our spiritual advancement is to the degree we manage to please Him, please the Lord. So when the Lord is pleased, we make spiritual advancement, and the Lord is pleased by sincerity. And that sincerity can be done on any level. Wherever we are, we can be sincere, isn't it? We can simply try our best to be connected to the Lord, to chant Hare Krishna mantra, to think about the Lord, to someone other. Devotional service is actually possible to do in any situation of life. Even one is on deathbed, one can still serve the Lord, at least by remembering. This is also service. So our desire to be connected to the Lord and love the Lord, somehow or other express our desire, that Krishna enjoys very much, and that can be done in any way. So now I lost it a little bit. I wanted to say, he said, thank you, Reverend Mataji. He explained that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's in charge of our spiritual advancement, and he said, if from your life situation, as you can hardly come once a month to the temple, but you do it, and this is the only time that you really squeeze the time, and it's very hard for you, but you do it, you make as much spiritual advancement as the person, brahmachari, let us say, living in the temple, having nothing to do but 24 hours a day serving Krishna in the temple. If the brahmachari is sincere, you make as much spiritual advancement. And also there is a explanation, if that brahmachari is not really sincere but a little lazy and takes for granted one's life situation and not doing really one's best, that person makes more spiritual advancement than that brahmachari. So this is a very wonderful understanding actually, that we all have full possibility to make most wonderful spiritual advancement just because of our attitude, of our sincerity, wherever we are, whatever we are engaged in. So it's very wonderful and very hopeful. So I will just a little bit read more. So that verse which we are reading today, it's a very beautiful instruction by Lord Krishna. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So those who worship the Lord, giving up all their activities unto me, so we may be engaged in our job, in our studies. How can, one can ask, how can I do it for Krishna? Maybe so far away. I mean, a devotee should ideally not, for example, sell meat and all these kind of things, or serve meat, or be kind of engaged in these kind of like difficult jobs which are directly harmful. But who can say that my job is like pure and I can fully give it to Krishna? It's very hard nowadays in Kali Yuga, but still, if we have that consciousness, okay, I have to work, I have to maintain myself, this is my duty, I have to maintain my family. So whatever, at least a little money I have extra, I can donate to the temple, and in this way I purify my job, or I buy some dress for the deities. Today we got one new dress for the deities from one family, another dress is coming. So we can engage our whatever income is there and purify that and work actually with that motivation. Okay, I work because I have to maintain myself, maintain my family, but there is something extra which I can still use. I will use it for Krishna. And if this will be our main motivation, and also try to make one's family members more and more devoted to Krishna. So that's a very clear, wonderful devotion of one's job, of one's activities to Krishna. Oh, I study because I have to be educated, I have to have a good position and in order again to maintain in the future. So again the same thing. Why do I study? Because I can survive. I can maintain myself as a devotee. I can maintain my deities. I can maintain my family members, and also I can give something to the temple. So if it's there, so Krishna fully accepts it, and it's fully purified. The ideal, which is very difficult for most of the people nowadays to do, is that according to the Vedic principles, that 50% of one's income should be devoted to the temple. 50% divided, 25% for one's own personal needs, and 25% for one's family members. But nowadays I heard from many spiritual masters also, really it's practically impossible for most of the people, and it's not required. It's just whatever one can just donate to the temple and engage in this way in devotional service. And at the same time, having fixed one's mind upon the Lord. And how this is done, Srila Prabhupada explained also in a very simple way that the chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is actually thinking about the Lord. So that this is like for very advanced devotees to think always about Krishna. It's not difficult. This is just very natural. Srila Prabhupada was on such a level that he was most advanced devotee. He was with Krishna always. He saw Krishna. For him to forget Krishna was impossible. But we may not be, we may be very, very far away, I speak for myself, from that level, but we can still just connect to the Lord just by chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and then we are with Krishna. And even though sometimes the mind goes here and there, and it's very difficult to even bring it back to the holy name, still we are trying to go in the right direction. Like Mukunda Prabhu was once here and having very wonderful lecture about chanting of the holy name, and he explained that there are 3 levels of chanting. There is Nama Aparada, there is chanting of the holy name when we commit offenses to the Lord. It means like we are very inattentive and we are whatever, we have wrong attitude. So that chanting will ultimately anyway purify us, but it may be a long-term process. But there is a Namabhasa, middle way of chanting, and there is Shuddhanam, the pure chanting. So in between, the Namabhasa, it's already actually a very good stage because it's very purifying. And the difference between Nama Aparada, when we commit offenses to the Lord, and when we are already chanting in a purifying way, is that in Namabhasa we are trying sincerely to bring the mind on the holy name, try to listen. And if we are trying, it's already very, very purifying. Even we may not be so successful, but we are trying. And the Lord sees that trying and very much appreciates and purifies our heart, and we make quick progress on the path to pure chanting, which is the ultimate perfection, because the holy name will, it is the holy name who will reveal for us who we are in the spiritual world. What is our relationship with the Lord? He will reveal the spiritual world for us, everything. I think I spoke enough. If you have any questions and or comments, I will be very, very happy. Yes, please.
You speak about Krishna.
Are you?
And I think everyone here knows, at least a bit, who is Krishna. But who is Chaitanya? Krishna Chaitanya. Who is Krishna Chaitanya?
Okay.
We have him on the altar.
Yes. So when we speak about Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are the same person, but they are different appearances of the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here, we are worshipping him on the right side. This is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna himself. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom all the other incarnations are coming. But he came 500 years ago with a special mission. Only once per day of Lord Brahma, which is incredibly long time. So maybe some of you know exactly the number of. It's incredibly long time. Just our Kali Yuga, our little this Kali Yuga which we are living in. It's which started 5,000 years ago. It's 432,000 years. This is the shortest of all the 4 ages. And the Satya Yuga, Dvapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, which precedes, per one day of Lord Brahma, I think there are 42 of these cycles of these incredibly long periods of time, and just once per day of Lord Brahma comes Lord Krishna, and following up, he comes to Dvapara Yuga, and in Kali Yuga, the age which comes after, the Iron Age we are living in, comes Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has a very special mission.
Two purposes.
Yeah, I'll try. What you can say if you like. You can say. In any case, he comes actually in the mood of Srimati Radharani, his internal pleasure potency. That makes his appearance very special, because he comes in a very motherly mood, in a mood of most compassionate mother to his children. Lord Krishna is a little strict. He is very merciful, but a little strict, and he does not give pure bhakti and entrance to Goloka Vrindavan to everybody. It's actually very few who understood, even when Lord Krishna was here, directly present on the earth 5,000 years ago more. Just very few understood who he was and surrendered to him and achieved pure bhakti. But that's why he comes after as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The seeds were planted, and Lord Krishna's dust from his lotus feet is still around. So he utilizes that time, and he comes as Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is not as normal avatar who just delivers the population to ultimately Vaikuntha Loka. He opens the door to Goloka Vrindavan, to this highest planet of the spiritual world, for the most intimate, most wonderful relationships of pure love. And he comes in that mood of Radha. So he's Krishna, but that I think I'm not qualified to speak about. It's very high topics, but in any way he comes in the most compassionate form, which it's manifested in the way that he never looks at a person's qualification, which is our great boon in Kali Yuga. We may not have so many qualifications, but it does not matter for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He just tries to see, is there some little spark of desire for something higher, for something spiritual, and he gives fully himself to that person. Even there are actually extreme stories that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it is said that he is even running after the most fallen ones. This is his mood. Because he is so compassionate, so as a mother feels, oh, my sick child needs help first, isn't it? And the children are doing okay, fine, nice, but the sick child needs the help first. So he is in that mood that those most sick people, he runs after them and tries to help them and save them. He cannot tolerate the suffering of his children, or her children, whatever, however we can see it with. So this is our great hope, great mercy opening for all of us. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is ready to save all of us. He is just waiting for us here to come and take shelter of his mercy. There is also one beautiful story about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There was some washerman somewhere, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was again in his extreme mood of giving this love, this highest love to everybody, and that he wanted to give mercy to that washerman. And this Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he's very tricky, because just whoever reciprocates, even slightest with him, he gives him everything. So he tried this washerman to somehow or other reciprocate with him. But that washerman, he came to him and he said maybe Hare Krishna. And he expected that washerman will reply Hare Krishna, and then it means that the washerman is finished, will be blessed with pure love. But that washerman was very stubborn, did not want to say nothing. He was just busy with his work and did not care for anything. Really a stubborn soul. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came ultimately, as I remember the story correct, it's a long time I heard it, but he came to him again and again, always trying to somehow or other make that washerman to reciprocate with him, that he can bless him. But then ultimately, somebody can help me with another story, please. Yeah. Please.
We actually did a theater on it here.
Beautiful.
I don't know if you were here.
Probably not. I don't think so.
I was the washerman. Actually, I was the washerman and the dyer.
Okay.
At färja, tyg, to color cloth. And he was really stubborn. Oh no, not that sannyasi types again.
You got some money or something. He was so offensive, like.
I will not say anything. I will not give anything. I have nothing to give. And then he said, "Can you please just say Hare Krishna?" And the washerman was bewildered, perplexed. Okay, he thought, okay, maybe I can say that. At least maybe he goes away then. Hare Krishna. And then he got the taste. So he just accelerated, and he went mad. And his wife came and for giving him his lunch. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So he went mad.
But that madness we are all desiring actually. It's not material madness. It's a higher taste of spiritual ecstasy.
That's the second purpose for Lord Chaitanya.
Yeah.
One is in the mood of Radharani, and then to give up, deliver the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. That was a beautiful conclusion. If anybody has anything more to say, please say. Yes.
About madness.
What?
Madness.
About madness.
You know,
Yes.
Lord Chaitanya, he was walking through the whole South India, and he went from village to village to spread the holy name. He came there, saw the temple, started to dance and chant, and he got totally mad in love with Krishna. And people were coming, and they saw him, and from his eyes, he just gave them love of Krishna, everybody. And from anyone who were there, who was touched by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, when he went to his village, he embraced someone there, and that person also became same fired up.
It is very contagious, with other words.
Yeah.
Very contagious. Be careful.
we were afraid of this COVID, Somehow it was contagious, but this is more contagious. And what happened was that, that person who was embraced by that person who was, touched by Lord Chaitanya, when he went to his village, the same thing happened there. So it was like a worst virus. But then, what was that? No, I lost the point. Yes, he came to South. What is that? River. Godavari River. Godavari River. And there was a governor. His name was Ramananda Roy. And actually, Savagoma Bhattacharya in Jagannath Puri, he had said to Lord Chaitanya before he left for this long tour that when you come there, you should meet Ramananda Roy. So somehow or other, Lord Chaitanya was there on the Godavari River bank. He was bathing or something, and suddenly, they came, the governor, he is coming, he has some music and maybe some elephants, and it's a great procession, it's a kind of small, majestic thing that he's coming. And they got to see each other, Ramananda Roy and Lord Chaitanya. And they met. And Chaitanya said, because they felt kind of in very ecstatic feelings to see each other. But the Lord Chaitanya said, we have to control here, because these people are here, they should not see. And but we can meet again. So they met again and again and again. And they start conversing, or rather, Lord Chaitanya, he started to ask questions to Ramananda Roy. He was asking, what is the goal and how to get there and what to do and, all those things. And he was talking about Vanasandharma, he was talking about all those steps to love God. And in the end, Lord Chaitanya looked at him and said, you are a madman, and I am a madman. And when two madmen come together, mad things happen. Actually this Ramananda Roy,
There is a place to sit. Please come.
he was Arjuna. And Arjuna, you know, he was on the battlefield, he learned so many things from Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes, he learned so many things from Krishna. There was also questions and answers. So now, with Ramananda Rai, he said to Lord Chaitanya that, you know, you are putting the answers in my heart, and you are asking me questions, which actually it's like you are speaking, you are asking, but you have turned my heart to you. So they had a wonderful, you can read this, it is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's a wonderful story, and the end is that, you know, mad things happen. When we see, especially Lord Gauranga, you know, mad things happen.
Thank you very much for your Mataji. Yeah, this, actually it's said that Bhagavad Gita is like ABC in a spiritual life, and a very wonderful basis, and it's very, very important book for us to study. And then when we finish, complete our reading and study of Bhagavad Gita, we proceed to Srimad Bhagavatam. And we can do it at the same time also, but the ideal is to first finish Bhagavad Gita and then to read Srimad Bhagavatam is extremely important, because it's like a graduate study of Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavatam is full of pastimes of the Lord, which deepens our bhakti understanding of our relationship with the Lord, how the Lord relates with his devotees, how this whole material world operates. All that is most wonderfully explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. And the postgraduate study of Srimad Bhagavatam is actually, as Mataji explained, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yes. And why? Because the Chaitanya Charitamrita contains so much of these descriptions of how devotees who are already on the path of complete pure love for the Lord relate to the Lord and to each other. And it's full of these most wonderful ecstatic descriptions, and it really gives us this higher taste, even more supports our desire to achieve this, because it's just most wonderful to hear about it. How we have, all of us, each and every one of us who sits in this room, have full possibility to achieve that in this very life. This ecstatic love for Krishna. And Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of his ecstatic descriptions of spiritual madness sometimes, and most wonderful feelings of pure love. So much wonderful things are waiting for us. So please come here as much as you can, and let us study together the books and privately at homes, and make our life perfect. Like as it was explained in this purport of Srila Prabhupada today we were reading, one does not have to achieve some kind of like perfection, and Bhakti Yoga is performed easily and happily. It's such an easy and happy process, just to come together, chant the holy name, associate with each other, do some loving service to the Lord, and eat prasadam, food offered, pure vegetarian food offered to Krishna. Very happy and very simple process, and one doesn't have to be like very much high up. One just simply has to be sincere, and then at the end of life, Krishna always appreciates the simplicity and sincerity of a devotee's heart and takes one back to Godhead. So most wonderful process. So welcome everybody so much, and thank you for tolerating me. And there is one more last thing, otherwise we finish because it's late. Mataji, you want to say something?
No.
Okay. Anybody wants to say something? Okay. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.